Who am I supposed to trust when everyone sees me as a means to their ends? Where am I supposed to go when I don't exist? How do I know where I belong when I don't even know who I am? I have no real name. I'm just a number to them, a weapon, a pawn in a war I don't want to be involved in. Division M and the Prime Syndicate are two sides of the same coin. They exist because of each other. I exist because of them. I was supposed to be a solution, a way towards peace. But I'm just another problem, a liability, a mistake. I have more enemies than I can count. What am I supposed to do? I can't do this alone. I need friends.
Oh, you're here. You're here. Sorry, guys. I was lost in this comic book. It's an awesome comic book. It's called Perfect 10. Oh, and this is the second printing of the first issue of Perfect 10. It's brand new. It's fresh. It's fresh from the printer. It is awesome. It has this awesome new cover. It has an awesome new back cover by Randy Green. God damn it, by Randy Green. It's fabulous. It won awards. It's fantastic, and it's written by me, and it's now on Indiegogo. You can check it out, guys. It's a fabulous book. And issue 3, we are now working on the last 3 pages. So Pau is working on the last 3 pages of issue 3. And then the colorist Daniel, he will work his magic on those pages, and it will be awesome. And I can finally get to the printer and get you all your amazing books. And thank you so much for backing. Okay, guys. Okay. Well, I hope you are all okay. My Sunday went very well. I did some writing today. I did some editing. I was talking with someone else to write for them. So people are starting to hire me to write for their franchises, which is pretty cool, pretty amazing. And beyond that, I don't have much to say. I think I just want to talk with you guys. So let's see who is here in the chat. In the chat with me today, it's David Feed. Hey, David Feed, welcome, man. Always good to see David Feed. David Feed is awesome. He has an awesome comic called Red Eyes, and issue 3 is now also on Indiegogo. It looks amazing. It will blow your mind. So check that out, guys. Then we have Tony Horton. Hey, Tony Horton. Always cool to see Tony Horton. I don't see him very often in the chat, but when he is in the chat, I'm always delighted. Tony Horton is a creator also. I hope you're having a great Sunday, Tony. And then we have Shadowhawk Talks. Hail and happy Sunday all. Hail to you as well, Mr. Shadowhawk Talks. It's good to see you. It's good to see you all today. Okay, guys. Let's see. Okay, my current guest. I have seen him on a few other streams. He has his own campaign now, and I thought it would be fun to introduce him to you and let him talk about his own book, his own special angle towards making comic books. I'm very curious to learn more. So let's just bring him on. Let's welcome to the show Rick Piper.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Rick.
Welcome, welcome. Definitely a unique way to open your show. I like it.
Oh, you like it? Oh, good, good.
It
I mean,
reminds me almost of like old Mister Rogers, or something like that. Just suddenly, I'm just reading it. Oh, you're here.
yeah, man. I just love comic books. Whenever I
Yeah,
read a comic book, a good, mind you, good comic book, I'm just lost in this world,
yeah.
and there can be war outside. I don't even know. It's just I'm so invested. Do
Yeah.
you have the same feeling with comics? You love
Yeah,
comics?
yeah. Yeah. I've loved them. Unfortunately, as of late, I haven't been reading them as much as I used to. Like when I was through my teens, early 20s, even into my 30s, I read them pretty much every week. And then,
Mm.
unfortunately, I was stopped being unable to buy them, and then I got them online.
Oh yeah.
In not the best way, but it was a way to keep reading them. And then it dried up one week where I wasn't able to get them every week, and then I stopped reading them on a regular basis. But that's around
Oh,
the time all the woke nonsense started creeping
oh, all
in.
right.
So
Okay,
maybe it
cool.
was a good time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about that in a bit. First, I like to say hi to. I saw Mike in the chat. Hello, hello. Ahoy, hoy, sirs. Hello, Mike. And Sugar Chris. The Sugar Chris. Hello, hello, Sugar Chris. Nice to see you, man. And then we have Eastlyn. Hello, all. I get excited about how we can talk to creators because of satellites and electronics and the technology. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
it
It's
is.
absolutely fantastic. Oh, and I think I see did yeah, I saw Darkside. Hello, hello, Marinus. How are you, man? Are you feeling better today? By the way, Marinus. Marinus was a bit under the weather, as they say in the USA.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, but I'm in Canada. Although we say
oh,
it
you're
here
from
too.
Canada. Okay. So do they have a different phrase instead of under the
Well,
weather? Do they say
no,
something
we
else?
have. This is the same one.
Oh, right, right, right.
I just, I got to
Yeah,
make sure people know I'm from Canada, not the U.S.
right. Yeah. Listen, to me, it's
Canadian pride.
yeah, yeah. Do you hear the difference? Do Canadians hear the difference between Americans when they speak and Canadians when they speak?
Well, I guess it depends on where the Americans from. Texans have a unique accent,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
and
Even
there's
even
some
I can
others that have.
recognize Texans. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but like most of the people, like say, I'm in southern Ontario, so the people just over the border, I think they have a similar accent to
Hmm.
me. So, but
All
then
right.
again, people in Quebec and Canada definitely have a unique accent,
Yes.
and then I haven't heard a lot of people from out west, so they probably
Hmm.
have a unique accent. Probably the one more people are used to from Bob and Doug McKenzie. Eh? How you doing today, eh?
Yes,
I
yes.
don't talk like that at all.
Mike says new dude about it. New
No
dude
doot
about it.
about it.
Uh, and Darkside's feeling a little bit better, like 10%. 10%? Come on, man. Better. Come on. It needs to be better. Okay. Before we start, this is a drink with Brink, Rick. So I
Yeah.
need to ask you the question: what are you drinking?
Uh, water.
Water. Water is always good, man. Canadian water. That's perfect, right? Nice. Good. Okay. Okie dokie. I could have guessed, by the way, that you were Canadian because you have a book called The Canadian Shield,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but the Americans do produce Alpha Flight with Marvel,
They
right?
do.
So,
They do. Yes,
but
they
who
do.
knows? And
Okay.
and then my good friend John Dillard, he's doing the Buckler, which is sort of an offshoot from me. It
Mhm.
was inspired by me, and his main character is Canadian, but he's from LA.
All right. Right. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um. Okay, Rick. So, what got you into comic books? What got you like? What is it about comics that you love?
Oh well. the storytelling, a lot of it. But what got me into it was when I was like, kid, a lot, like probably a lot of us here in the States and US. I'm not sure about Britain, but I watched the Super Friends and stuff like that, the amazing, Spider-Man stuff growing up.
Hmm.
So I was really into the superheroes from them. And well, my mom brought me to sent me to a Christian camp when I was like around 10, 12. And to try and get me to read, they had some Christian Archie comics there.
Oh, really?
So she picked them up.
Christian Archie comics. Those were
Y-
specific comics, or
Yeah,
were
specific comics.
oh. One
There's
sec,
like
one sec,
there's
Rick, one
yeah,
sec. I need to say hi to Pops. Hello, Pops. Welcome, sir. When new people drop in, I'm always scared that afraid, uh,
yeah.
that I miss them. So
Oh yeah, I
uh,
get that. I get
yeah,
that
yeah.
from doing my own YouTube channel.
Okay, so you read a Christian Archie comic,
Yeah, so that got me into regular Archie, and
right?
then around the time Superman died and all that, I started getting into uh reading the regular comics,
Hmm.
regular superhero comics. Batman broke his back, and then um,
Mm.
DC brought out an imprint of Archie's superheroes because I'm not sure whether too many people know Archie did have superheroes back in like the 40s and all that.
Yes.
So
Oh, you read
I st-
those? You read the really really old comics.
yeah, but this new imprint was called Impact, and I read it from the beginning. So, that started getting me into reading comics. So eventually I'm going to the comic shop every week and I see new stuff. So
Right. Yes.
that's what really got me into comics. And then eventually, it's like, there's no Christian superheroes. I know Superman's clothes and all that, but like there's Christian music. It was like there's nothing like that. I'm gonna make my own Christian
Yeah.
superheroes.
Which is really remarkable when you think about it. So you
Yeah,
have you have Marvel has like 2,000 characters, and not one of them was Christian.
yeah. Well, I think Nightcrawler is a bit Christian.
Mm.
Wolverine, maybe. There's maybe Captain America, but it's not a prominent thing about the
Right.
comics. And I'm not, and even although it's a prominent thing, I'm not trying to make it an in your face thing, too. I hope I'm explaining that right, because, I want the comic to be enjoyable for everybody. If
Right.
it's too in your face, it's
I
not going to
get
be
it.
enjoyable. Mine
Right.
isn't about I'm trying not to preach in them. It's just trying to make them, like I said, enjoyable. And
Right.
I,
So
and,
what exactly were you missing from, because these characters that you read, they weren't Christian, or at least not very outspoken, right?
yeah.
So what did you miss? Did they do certain things, or didn't they do certain things that you wanted them to do?
Um. Well, with it being, at first, I'm thinking Christian market. So, that obviously those characters probably don't speak about Jesus and God enough. Now that in their comics, because they're not Christian and I wouldn't expect it, it's not a part of who they are,
Hmm.
as the character. There's a lot of people out there that probably believe about but it's not a real part of them, if you know what I mean, of who
Hmm.
they are.
Right.
A lot of Christians, it's about who they are, but you can live your life with it being about who you are without being preachy, every 5 seconds to everybody too,
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
and
Well,
having
it's
a
more
good,
like living with Christian values, right?
yeah,
But if you look, if you see a character like Superman,
yeah.
doesn't he in some way portray these Christian values?
A lot of the times, yes, I would agree, you know,
Hmm.
but he doesn't let people know it's because he worships God that
Mm,
he's like
okay.
he is.
Right. So that element specific, you were missing, like
Yeah,
references to Jesus, to God.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Mike says Bible Man already exists for that. Is that a character, Bible Man?
Yes, Bible Man exists, but Bible Man is really really corny. I'm trying not to be corny with my comics.
Right.
Yes, there's going to be an element of corniness, but unfortunately, a lot of Christian stuff can be really campy, corny. Like
Mhm.
yeah, Bible Man might refer you a little bit back to like almost the Adam West type stuff.
Right. It's a little bit goofy character.
Yeah,
Right.
and unfortunately, I think they over spiritualize things. A villain can be just a villain without, like a robber, robbing, banks or whatever that, the Christian superhero has to stop. He doesn't have to have a spiritual reason for doing it necessarily.
Right. Yes. Okay. David Feed. What David Feed says: if Green Goblin throws a gay, where's this going? Throws a gay and a Muslim at the same time from a building. Which one Canadian Shield saves?
Well, I think the Canadian Shield is fast enough to save both.
That's a good answer, man. That was a trick question. Come on, David.
I
Okay.
don't mind that.
Okay. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, no problem, David.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So this was your drive. So you wanted to make comics, but your main drive was because you wanted to make this superhero that you didn't see anywhere. This
Yeah, fill a niche market, if you will.
right.
You know,
Right.
and eventually, like I said, at first it was more thinking, okay, comic books, Christian superhero comic books for Christians, and then it's like maybe I should be making these so everybody can read and enjoy.
Yes. Yes.
Because then you've got to change your writing style just slightly. I would say.
Okay. Right. Um, what what comics or what characters did you draw inspiration from to create the Canadian Shield?
Well, probably a little bit of Superman because his power sets are very similar. You know,
Oh, okay. Right.
um, I'm not. I'm not sure. I probably know there's more. You know,
Yeah.
probably a
It's
little bit of myself.
oh,
And I'm
really?
sure that's
Yeah.
different aspects of me. I can see parts of aspects of me in the Canadian Shield. Not all of me, but I think a lot different aspects are in me and different ones of my characters.
Well, I think this makes sense because you are Christian, right?
Yeah,
So you put your own values in this character, and you
yeah,
actually live your values. They are
yeah,
so it makes sense to me.
yeah. And like because he's supposed to be, but well, he's 8 foot tall, and so he's a gentle giant too. At the
Oh,
same, oh
wow.
wow, he's 8 foot tall, built like a brick house. It's like
Why?
just because.
Just because. Okay.
Like I varied the size for quite some time. I was trying to go between 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot. What do I want? And I just thought, okay, let's make him unusual, 8 foot tall. You know,
Wow.
he sticks
Okay.
out.
Yes.
In a
Yes. I had a creator on my channel a little while ago, Billy Nunez, and he has a comic called Dame Gang
yeah.
with you know it
I've
with
heard of it. He was being interviewed on another show the other night, or maybe here. I'm not sure. And I
right.
caught a bit of the interview.
Right, but anyway, Canadian Shield could date one of his ladies because these were giant ladies, like also
Yeah,
like 9 feet.
yeah. I was thinking about that when I was
Yeah,
talking to him. It'd be a neat crossover for sure.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Well, and actually another neat crossover for him. I have a character that's going to come out in a while called Electide. She has electrical based powers, but she uses them to grow. So she can grow like 25 feet tall or something like
Oh,
that.
wow,
Sort of like Ant Man and Electro in one.
a combination. Okay,
Yeah.
Mm.
But let's not get too far on her, you know.
No, that's very interesting. You have to talk about your own passions, man. If this is where the conversation takes us,
Yeah,
then that's totally
but
cool.
I just figured that that would go neatly with Dang Gang, or
All right.
uh,
Yeah, yeah. Dame Gang. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
with them being big and tall, and this one, this girl can, you know, she could
Right.
easily grow up to their height or higher. It'd be a neat crossover.
Right. How is the experience to you of creating a comic book? Do you like it, or are there too many challenges, or
I like it. The biggest challenges for me is marketing. You know,
mm,
getting out there, letting people know, finding people that will actually tell your story or let you tell your story or whatever. You know, like I've contacted a few Christian magazines, you know, to say, hey, you want to do a story on this? And they're like, no.
oh really?
And I'm
Oh,
like,
too bad.
it's like, really? You don't want a story of up and coming, you know, Christian comic, hopefully an up and coming major comic book, Christian major comic book. I think you know what I mean. Major Christian comic
Yes,
book
yes,
thing,
yes, yes.
you know, because I've always thought, you know, hopefully one day it's the big three: DC, Marvel, and Cross Comics.
Right,
Now,
right.
with
Yes.
with what's happening to them, might you be Cross Comics?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The mainstream we have now won't be the mainstream in a few years. In like 10 years, the landscape will be completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah. So who is your target audience? Is this other Christians, or do you want to reach non-Christians?
Um, I'd say both. No,
Hmm.
like I said, you know, yeah, I want to get in the church because you know that is a big market, you know, in and of itself. But I want, you know, I want it to be a witness, a ministry, you know, to maybe, you know, bring people to Christ, you know, through,
Mm.
you know, a low key manner, you know, nothing, you know, like I said, I don't want to be in anybody's face, you know. And that's the great thing is, you know, they can pick it up or not pick it up, you know. And if
Of
they
course.
enjoy it,
Yeah.
fine. Enjoy it, fine. If they don't, like, I'm not sure if you know who Tank Ferret is.
Who?
Tank Ferret.
Oh, Tank Ferret. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
know Tank.
He
Yeah.
read it and he's an atheist and he loved it. He didn't find it preachy or nothing. So you know,
Wow. Good
there's
job,
a
man.
there's a you know that was that well that's for the first issue. You know, we're
Okay.
on the second issue of Canadian Shield here and first issue of my next heroine or hero who is a heroine, Snowdrift.
hmm All right. Mike says one super ability could be to alter his height,
Height.
depending on how tall the doorway that he has to walk through is. Super scarp is less dense. Okay. Yeah. Well, take this inspiration. You never know, right?
Yeah,
We have a very creative chat. So,
yeah.
um, okay. So you have this. Is this character, is he someone you thought about when you were young, or is it
Um,
from recent
uh,
years when you decided you're going to
I'd
make
say
a comic
in
book?
my mid-teens. My mom's just coming in my room. Yes, mother. She's listening. If you look for Genuine Comics on the Ruko on your thing, you can
Yes,
find us.
yes, genuine comics. Yes, uh, yeah. Maybe
YouTube.
maybe we see Mama Piper in the chat.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Uh, well, she'll probably be watching on the TV, so she
Oh,
because
right.
the YouTube on the TV, so she won't be in the chat most likely.
So do you live together, or
Yeah, I live with my mom at the moment. Unfortunately,
is
jobs have
she is
never worked.
she is she proud of you, of what you're doing with the comic?
Yes.
Great.
Uh, and what was your? What was the question before she came in?
Oh, I can't remember. Chat, help us remember. What was my question? I can't remember. Yeah, but anyway, you have a Christian superhero. He's from Canada because you're from
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah,
And
yeah. He's a Native American from the early
oh
1800s. He's transported through time by
wow,
God to present day, and he's actually from my area in the 1800s. But since I don't want to give him culture shock, I transport him up into the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around but forest and trees and snow.
all right, yeah. David helps us remind that the question was:
Oh,
Did you created him? Did you create him when you were young, or is he recent?
yeah. I created him in my mid-teens. I had the name. I came across the name, the Canadian Shield, due to the geological formation. Thought that'd make a good superhero name. And when
Hmm.
I first created him, he was a little bit different. He was supposed to be more biker. I created him more biker-ish, probably a lot more Captain American-ish than he
Hmm.
is now.
Hmm.
Um, where he'd have some sort of shield, and he was a big, a fat guy on a bike, like a real
Right.
biker looking with some sort of, Canadian, flag looking suit for him.
Oh.
But I don't know what got me to change my mind over to what I got now, but I did, and it's what I have now. And that was somewhere in my mid teens or late teens,
Mhm.
and I've gotten like 8 scripts for him written, so and a
All
lot
right.
more for my other characters, and I've been working on it for years, some a lot of on and off, probably more off than on. And then
Right. Do you know Dojo Kun comics?
yeah, I've heard of him, and I've seen that he's got a Canadian Shield too.
Yes, yes.
It'd be neat to do a crossover with those two one
Oh,
day.
that would be great. Yeah, but there is something about the Canadian Shield. Is that something of the
Yeah,
country?
it is a geological landmass.
Mm,
It takes like probably a third of Canada, I think. And
wow.
so yeah, so because of that name, Canadian Shield, the name is public domain. Anybody can use it.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So I went and created my own Canadian Shield, and never thought anybody else did. In fact, Guardian from Alpha Flight, I think it was Guardian or Vindicator, was actually originally going to be named Canadian Shield, but they didn't.
Yes.
Somebody at Marvel didn't like it, and
Oh, and that would have been the perfect name. Yeah. Yeah. I think that John Byrne said that he didn't like the name Vindicator
yeah,
because he himself didn't really get it. What is there to vindicate? It's but yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay, man. Let's just take a look at your campaign so people can see what you're offering here.
uh-huh.
The Canadian Shield. Let's bring up the page. Share the screen. Yada yada yada. Here we go. Share. Kapow. The Canadian Shield number 2. Add more. Add more,
Yes,
guys. Ooh. So, let me see. You brought in now over $1,000, which is good, man.
yeah,
Good. Um,
with 25 backers, which is really good.
yeah, 25 backers, man. Congratulations. You have a flexible goal. You haven't reached your goal yet, right?
Yeah, well, I reached the goal because it was only 387 Canadian.
Oh, right.
That's American, because
Yes.
five. Unfortunately, I did it Canadian, so it's less American. So
Yes. I'm being a bit silly here. I can see it here.
yeah,
266%. Congratulations, man. That's fantastic.
yeah,
Okay, so the Canadian Shield is back and fighting along with a whole new hero in her own comic. Ooh, excellent. Okay, so here you have him.
the
And the new
Canadian
hero
too.
is called Snowdrift.
Yes.
Snowdrift is that something also that's Canadian? Snowdrift?
Well, it's not specifically Canadian. It's
Hmm.
just a drift of snow. Like a drift of sand or whatever.
All right.
You know,
Yeah. Cool.
I
Original
just
name.
thought it'd be a cool name, for an ice-based character.
Sure. And you wanted the ice-based character because you needed one for your story.
Yeah, just because
So
Well,
so you
I'd say
said.
because it's Canada, but I also have a
Yeah.
heat-based character too. So
Oh, okay. Sure. Sure.
it's one of the staples of the superhero realm, having a cold-based character as well as heat-based.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So you're building your own universe here.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many characters do you have now?
Heroes, villains, supporting cast, and a whole bunch of other type of characters. Over 400.
400. Holy moly.
Like you said, I'm building a universe. No, no,
Yes.
no. I'm so, but they're not going to be plastered. All of them aren't going to be plastered in everybody's face all at
Right.
once.
Right. Wow.
I've got like 7 major heroes that I want to bring out. I'll introduce heroes and villains to them. Um, a lot. What the I had a year and a half type planned. Like if they were to come out monthly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're not coming out monthly like I would like.
No. No. You
Big,
can't do that, man.
big dreams in a shrinking world back when like you're 15 or 20.
Yeah. That's a lot of
Yeah,
work. So Rick, you said that you wrote stories for the Canadian Shield and your other
yeah, yeah,
comics, right?
yeah. I've got 8 comics of her written as well.
Okay. Do you also do the drawing?
I did the drawing on number 1 of the Canadian Shield. But for the second campaign, I'm an all right artist, but to up the notch, up it a
Hmm.
bit, I hired out a couple different artists for this. For this one here, Canadian Shield 2 is done by a guy named Efren A. Crespo. I don't
Right.
think anybody's ever heard of him,
Mhm.
but
No.
he offered to want to do something. His art looked better than mine, I'll admit.
Mhm.
So I got him. He's a bit slower than I'd like, but
Yeah.
other than that, although I am doing the coloring on both books.
Oh,
uh,
you do the colors. So you did the colors of this cover
y-
also here?
yeah, and
Okay.
if you know who John Dillard is, he did the Buckler.
Yes,
Uh,
I know.
uh,
Yes, this
uh,
heavy voice. His
yeah,
heavy voice, yes.
he did pencils and inks for Snowdrift.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah,
That is fantastic. Damn. Okay, I had some questions about this cover. This was the cover that I used for the thumbnail for this video
yeah,
because I think this is your main cover for the
yeah,
book, right?
yeah,
Usually I would expect, you would think that on the cover you put the hero so people
yeah,
can see this is the Canadian Shield, but you choose differently, right?
yeah.
So
Oh,
what's
well,
what's the reason behind this cover? What are we looking at here?
okay. This is the villain, so I wanted to make him look ominous, menacing, and all that.
Mhm.
And the reason I chose that is okay. For the first issue, we had the Canadian Shield, we had the hero on it. You've been introduced to him. You know what he looks like and all that. So you know, coming to the second issue, I wanted to bring something new, something a little different. My universe is well, to me it's huge, but to everybody else at this point it's small. So
Still small, yeah.
yeah, so why not focus something else than the hero on the cover? Yeah, there's probably going to be more hero focused covers for the Canadian Shield in the
Hmm.
future, or maybe him and a villain or whatever.
Right.
But I wanted to do something a little bit more, focus on something else in the universe, if you
Hmm.
will.
Right. Yes. So, but uh, what is happening? This is fire, ash.
Yeah, yeah, fire and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
It's partly taken from a panel in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I blacked out, what he looks like. If you go down actually a little bit there, right there, if you see the guy there, that's not the Canadian Shield. It's
Oh yeah. Yeah.
basically that panel, but blacked out, and then creating a lot of the smoke and fire from
Ah, right.
the from in.
Right. Right.
People look at that cover and they're like, "This guy looks mean, ominous. Ooh, what is his deal?" I
Yes.
think, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is drawn by what was his name? Ephraim.
Ephraim A. Crespo.
Ephraim. Right. So. And you gave him the script. So what did your script look like? How do you write this scene, for instance?
I just say a page, whatever, then panel, and I'm like, this top one might be Canadian Shield sees, warehouse on fire or building on fire, you know. Then he
So,
rushes
so
over to panel 2. He rushes over to it.
all right.
I'm vague a lot of times.
Are you pretty vague with your scripts? You mean?
Well, I guess for the setting, here I can actually quickly bring it up. The doc. Let's see.
Are you going to show
Exactly
us?
how.
You going to show us something?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah, I can show you.
Ooh, cool. People in the chat, if you have questions for Rick, please ask. He's here now. This is his hour. He loves to talk about his book, The Canadian Shield, plus Snowdrift. There are 2 books here, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's always awesome. So this villain, yes, this the giant ears. Is he like a mutant or some kind of alien?
He is mutated for sure. He got thrown in a toxic waste dump and left
no.
there to die for months on end, and then he emerges, months later and ends up looking like
All
he
right.
does.
So he shoots like acid or something toxic.
Yeah. From his gun, and then he can shoot radioactive blasts from his hands.
All right. David has a question for you.
Okay.
David has a question for you. If you can tell, what are his weaknesses?
The Canadian Shield.
Yes.
His senses can be overwhelmed. The suit amplifies all the, like hearing, sight, smell. So, a bright light in his face is going to blind him for a few seconds or whatever, or a noise that he's not expecting can, throw him off, disorient him for a few seconds. And now I
Okay.
know a few seconds isn't a lot, but it could be more depending on how
Yeah.
intense it is,
It can
And
make all
then,
the
of,
difference.
and then, of course, without the costume, he's vulnerable. Like if you take the mask off, you can hit him on the head, and he's gonna get hurt.
Right. I see you shared something on your own
Yeah.
screen, so I'm putting you to the solo layout here, and you can tell us what we're looking at.
This is basically the script. Like
Yes.
there's panel 1. Okay, panel 2.
Yes.
The Canadian Shield sees the fire, so you see him seeing the fire over there, and then panel 2. Canadian Shield running over to the building on fire. Panel 3. When in the building, he sees the silhouette of Toxico about 50 feet away from him.
Toxico.
That's the villain, bad
Wherever
guy.
you go Toxico.
And then Toxico staring at Shield from a distance. Toxico begins walking towards the Canadian Shield.
Right.
So,
All right.
there, it's vague, but it's, trying to give the reader, the artist, some leeway
Sure.
with what to do. I don't
Sure.
want to be too,
Yes. Okay. Oh.
specific.
Okay. Cool, man. Very nice. Exit solo. There you go. Thanks for sharing, man. Dillard came in the chat.
Hey, John.
He says he has a question. Question for Rick. Where's my money at? Oh. I'm not sure if we should discuss this on
Oh, he's
live
just
stream.
he's teasing me. He's teasing
Oh,
me.
okay.
I'm loading up money to my PayPal to pay him for the last couple pages, and he's already working on Snowdrift #2, doing the pencils.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna ink it, so he's got a few pages ahead, and I don't have quite the money in my PayPal. It's uploading from my bank account, so he's just teasing me about that. He already knows.
He also says the Canadian shield is susceptible to harmonic alchemy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, the Canadian Shield is in Dillard's universe, a version of him, but and he's got another character from another person that we know called Mallet, called Xylo, who works with harmonic alchemy, whatever that is. And
Right,
we're saying the Canadian Shield is vulnerable to it for be able to, and it sort of makes sense with how we figure out it actually works or
right,
might
right, right.
work in the Buckler book too, which the Dillard is drawing and all that at the moment as well.
Wait, so will there be a connection between the buckler plus your book, or?
Yeah, though technically the Buckler is alternate universe.
Hmm.
It's an alternate universe because not all my characters exist within the Buckler universe, the John Dillard's universe.
Right.
So
So some of your characters exist in his universe.
yeah,
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
you
Wow.
know, we're good friends, and I figured, why not? He's helped me a lot do stuff, so I can't help but say yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. Dillard also says that his main weakness is pronunciation of the English language.
I think that's my weakness, the Canadian Shield. Well, the Canadian Shield at first is going to have broken language because
Yeah, yeah.
he's not used to being around a lot of people speaking English all the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But eventually, as he's around people, his English gets better.
Yeah, because Eastland says that Canadians speak differently. Americans speak differently in different regions also. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, David has a question for you. Who would win in a fight, the shield or the buckler?
Well, according to Dillard, the Shield would win. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yes. Yes, the shield is like Superman, right?
Yeah,
In
but
strength level. So yeah.
yeah, but he's like down 1 or 2 on the where Superman's like a 10, Shield's like a 9 or an 8.
Right. Right.
Like in the first issue, one major feat that the Canadian Shield does is he uproots a tree in the middle of winter, like like 60, 100-foot tree, no leaves on there or anything, but uproots it up to the ground and just tosses it into space as if it were a twig.
That's brilliant writing, man. That's fantastic. Let me see. What's this? Red Green Accent Canada. Loved the Red Green show.
Oh yeah, Red Green's an awesome show. Actually, the actor of Red Green is from around my area.
Is that a name?
Yeah, I forget, something Smith is his real name. There's a show here in Canada called Red Green. Um,
Oh,
he
okay.
I liken it to Mr. Bean, but it's different in a lot of ways.
Hmm. All right. All right.
But probably if you like Mr. Bean, you might like Red Green.
Okay. That kind of humor, right? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's see this page here. So we have a battle going on between Toxico,
Yeah.
right, and the Canadian Shields. Everything is burning. Seems like Canadian Shield is in trouble here.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, bud, I don't want to fight.
Right.
I'm just trying to make sure the building's okay, everybody inside's okay.
So Canadian Shield is not Canadian Shield is not like a like someone who just likes to battle. He tries to solve things differently.
Yeah, he tries to do things nicely at first, but
Hmm.
if it don't work, he
Don't work.
he,
Yeah.
he ain't scared of a throwdown.
Right. Oh, Spore Hacker. Spore Hacker's here. Welcome, Spore Hacker. Welcome, man. Wait a sec. I have to put it in theater mode. Yes, sir. This is like a theater. Excellent. So, Spore Hacker, we are talking today with Rick Piper about his book, The Canadian Shield, plus Snowdrift. Let's talk about Snowdrift. Who is she?
again, so she's got a slightly similar origin to Canadian Shield. In fact, she was brought up in the 1920s. Well, not, that 1920s. She grows up. She ends up going to college to become a scientist of some sort. I'm not sure what. I haven't decided yet. Uh, but after, and that's during the Second World War, she's going to school to get that degree or whatever. And about 5 years after the war, she gets a given command of an expedition to the Canadian Arctic. And about a year passes of doing whatever research they're doing, and she decides to go out for a walk. You know, just
through the Arctic. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
she normally know how to get back, but in the middle of her walk, a blizzard hits,
Oh,
and she gets lost. She can't find her way back or whatever, and she ends up falling over from exhaustion, gets buried under the snow and ice. Her people try and find her, they can't, so she's left there. They pack up, they go back to regular civilization because somebody got lost on their expedition. So they figure it's time to call it quits.
hmm,
And but 70 years later, for reasons that I'm not going to say yet, there is a guy out and about in the area. He finds her and takes her back to his cabin. He unthaws her, and she's as good as she was pretty much, you know, um, before she was,
right,
frozen.
right. Like
But not
Frozen,
being,
just like Captain America,
yeah,
like like that. Yeah.
you know,
Cool.
and
Okay.
that's because God. She cries out just before she, like, is completely, gone. God help, and God sort of puts her into suspended animation, making
Right.
the ice and snow become part of her, so she can sort of use it as powers. But like I said, she gets revived 70 years later, so she's got to figure out how to make a new life for herself. And then doing that, she ends up finding out she has the cold and ice powers. And then
Right.
she decides she wants to become a superhero for some unknown reason. Well, I know the reasons, but reasons that I'm not going to completely reveal yet.
No, no, but probably because God has this plan for her, right?
Yeah.
Right. Dillard Draws has a question for Rick, so-called Piper of Cross Comics. And that question is this: with such a wide variety of characters and stories, how do you choose who to focus on and why?
How do I choose? Well, I chose a long time ago, and I think some of them. Well, Canadian Shield just seemed, good to choose because he seemed like a very Canadian. I'm really a Canadian patriot. I'm really proud of my country and all that. So I figured
Right.
that'd be a good one to focus on with that name. And then
Hmm. That
cold and
makes sense.
then the heat and cold. Um, because you know it's just a nice contrast to eventually having maybe a super type team.
Hmm.
So there was two of my other characters. Then there's my character Insecto because he's so much like me. I put a lot of myself in that character for sure.
Insecto.
Yeah.
Right. So we haven't seen
uh,
him yet, right?
no, he doesn't come out till the fourth book.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be the fourth book I bring out. Flame is going to be my third, so my next campaign is going to actually have 3 books. The campaign after that, 4.
Right. Mike says, as long as she's nothing like Michael Keaton's Jack Frost, it's all good.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm not sure what that's like, but oh man,
Okay. Here we see her being rescued, right? And this man helping her. So
yeah,
this guy, will he be important to her in the story?
yeah. She's going to be keeping in contact with him. Especially he helped revive her. He actually ends up
Mhm.
helping her
Right.
implement back into society quite a bit. You know, but obviously here you're seeing he's giving her mouth to mouth and she wakes up completely.
It
And
looks a bit suspicious, yeah. When she wakes up and she sees this happen,
yeah,
it's like, what's
what
going on here?
she's being kissed by this man who she does not know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And he's like, "Whoa, lady, it's not what you think it is."
Yeah. Cool. Okay. These are add-ons.
Yeah, obviously for those that weren't around for the first my first campaign for Canadian Shield 1, they
Hmm.
can get the cover, get the Canadian Shield 1 as an add-on.
Right.
Either my cover or John's. John did the cover for the first one. Although these are limited qualities, there's less of John, so I'm charging a little bit more for his.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. The rarity, man. You pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course, one of my big fans on my channel of my stuff, Elric Hayuga,
Yeah.
he wanted to do a cover for me, so for Snowdrift. So I usually have one alternate. I'm trying to only have like one alternate cover for a issue one. I don't want to really do alternate covers for 2 and beyond. I might do that if I put them like up on Amazon. There might be this is the
Right.
Amazon cover, but for the campaign, you know,
Well, you can do it the way that I do it. When you sell out, when you have no copies left, and you need
yeah.
to do the second printing, then you can slap on a new cover, right?
Yeah, and that's what I plan to do with the Canadian Shield. Slap on a new cover. I'm actually in the middle of remastering the insides, making the art pop a little bit more and all that.
Oh, from the first issue?
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Cool.
it was good, but it wasn't quite as good as I would have liked.
Right.
And then I've got keychains there for
Keychains.
made by the person that created that Xylo character we were talking about earlier. Uh,
Yeah.
he has like a lathe or whatever that he can do carving wood and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So you got
This
your choice between, Snowdrift keychain, Cross Comics, or Canadian Shield,
right.
or you get one of them for $5 Canadian, or all three for 12, with
Oh,
no
okay.
shipping on them because their add-ons are just easy to throw in. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah, of
no
course, of
no
course. Yeah,
no
yeah.
way.
Yes. Like some
And
stretch goals. Yes, for later.
and those stretch goals are Canadian, so technically we've already reached the 1,001.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
because the Canadian money is up to 1,300 and
Oh,
change.
so, right. So people already get these stickers
Yeah, and
of the
we're
Canadian
close to the
Shield.
1,500, which will get a Snowdrift sticker. And then I don't know what I'm doing past 2,000 yet for sure.
Right. Yeah. Let's get there first, right? Excellent. Let's take a look at your perks, right? So
Uh,
the featured perk, what's that about?
that is, you get both books signed for $35 Canadian or 27 US plus shipping.
Okay.
And I think I did pretty reasonable. Canada is $5 for shipping, and this is in Canadian money. $10 to the US, and I think 15 overseas.
Right.
Anywhere else?
Yeah. It's like 27 American dollars
Yeah, so it'd be a
combined. Yes.
bit with the shipping. It'd probably be like 35, maybe
Right.
American. You know,
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Cool. You get two comics. You get them, and you sign them. So that's fantastic.
yeah.
Okay. Then you have
Uh,
a digital version.
Yeah, digital choice. There, you get to choose which one you want because maybe you don't want both comics. Maybe you just
Oh.
want one or the other.
Hmm.
I figure you got to give people choice what they want. You can't force them to get what they don't want.
All right. Sure. Yeah. Sure, man. And for only $2 American. That's cheap, guys. If you want to help Rick out, just support him. You can always pick this one. You get a
Yeah.
digital comic for only $2.
Yeah. And then
Great.
the next one is you get both of them for
Both.
$4 American
Yes.
or
Yes.
5 Canadian.
Right. Yes. Cool. Okay. And then we have the customer's choice.
Yeah, and again, that's you get the physical copy and you get to choose which one. Because again, maybe you don't
Oh,
want one or the
Both of
other.
them. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
And again, customer's choice sign, for $5 extra instead of
Of course.
15. And again, it's all about choice as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. I remember that with my first campaign, I signed every book. I was
Yeah.
like, people who back me get signed books, and then I realized that at some point, signed books weren't that special no more because everything was signed, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I stopped doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that one is again getting them both unsigned in this case, because maybe people don't want them signed.
Yeah, of course, sure. Yeah. Okay, that's both. A lot of choice, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Name that firefighter. This is interesting. What is this?
on page 6, panel 2, there's two firefighters on the back of a fire engine, and firefighters, at least here in Canada and the States, they have their names on the back of their uniform,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you can choose what name goes on the back of. One has been taken. There's only two firefighters, so there's only two of that tier, and one's been taken. So there's one left that you can choose.
You
What?
can name.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that comes with the Canadian Shield too, as well. And for those that want the Snowdrift #1, you can get it as an add-on as well with that
Excellent. Excellent.
perk.
So apparently, Dylan says you are pro-choice.
For certain things.
Then we have the Lorenzo. What's the Lorenzo?
Okay, well, have you heard of Lorenzo Sleestack?
Oh, it sounds familiar, but
He's usually in a lot of chats and all that on panels. He has his own show too on Thursdays.
right.
But usually, you'd see him, especially when comics first began. You'd see him in a lot of chats or asking about getting two of everything or pretty much everything on a campaign. So on my
Oh,
first campaign, he was asking the same thing of me, and I'm like, okay, I'll make the tier up, okay, and I'll make it available to everybody. But what do I call it? And since he asked for it, I figured we'll name it after him, the
yeah.
Lorenzo. So you get two Canadian Shield 2s and you get two Snowdrift 1s signed for
Right.
60 Canadian or 46, US
Cool. And
plus
it seems that
plus
that
shipping.
Lorenzo backed this one. One claim.
Actually, Lorenzo didn't back that one. He has sort of backed it.
Mm,
He wanted the one of the alternate cover, and for Snowdrift, so
yeah.
made a secret perk. It gave him a little bit of deal on getting that since he's a good customer.
Right. Yeah, man. Take care of your customers. The traditional artwork.
So the last page of Snowdrift #1, I got Dillard to do it traditionally. The
Right.
artwork for it,
Yes.
because this is the first spot in the comic where she appears in costume.
Yeah,
So
look
I
at this
thought
art. This looks great. It's
so
too
I
bad it's
thought,
so small, man. You should have put this bigger on your
yeah,
campaign, right?
I might put it down further. I thought, no, I didn't. I should
No, I
do
don't
that
think it's
here,
on the page.
but I can. Yeah, I definitely do that. But yeah, so that comes with Snowdrift 1 as well, signed. And again, if somebody wants to get the Canadian Shield 2 as well, that's available for an add-on.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Time for action.
And this is just what it looks like, an action figure for you can get yourself Canadian Shield action figure and the Canadian Shield 2. And so this is
Right.
done by it's made by a guy named Rex Barjar over in the Philippines, I get from what
Yeah.
I get. And
Yeah, I know him.
yeah. Anyways, I'll get him to do it, and he'll ship it directly. I'm gonna get him to ship it directly to whoever. That way, it saves on
Right.
shipping because
Yes.
there's actually no shipping on this.
Hmm.
I'm gonna throw, like I said, I'm putting in the book too, and I'm gonna ship it without charging for the shipping for the book. The shipping, that price is a little extra than what he's charging for the making of it, and it is an 8-inch action figure,
Wow.
and that's to go with decided early to make a scaling for when I do my action figures, because I'm not sure whether how much you know about action figures, but most of them we get, you have a Wolverine and a Cyclops, the same size, like Wolverine's way smaller than
It's smaller. Yeah,
Cyclops.
yeah.
So, when you get a Snowdrift action figure, you know, she is going to be smaller than the Canadian Shield. She's
Yes.
5'9", right? So
Yes, of
she's
course.
going to be
Makes sense.
5 inches, 5 3/4 of an inch.
Yes.
So just under 6 inches. So you're going to be able to see the difference in the action figures.
Yeah, as it's supposed to be. Yeah. Cool.
So,
Dillard has to go. Thank you for dropping by, Dillard. But I will say this: Rick Piper is extremely dedicated to his comics, and even more so to his customers. He will definitely be attentive to all your concerns. Later, guys. Good luck, Rick.
thanks, John.
Yes, that's great. Okay, Rick. Um, you now have 25 backers. Let's just do a refresh. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know, right? So refresh. 25 backers and 26.
Ooh, thank
26
you.
backers.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
Woo!
Ooh. Thank you, whomever. I'm gonna presume it's Spore Hacker, because Spore Hacker says I got to go for the Snowdrift digital since
Yeah,
I'm on a budget.
yeah. If this was you, man, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, Rick, is there something else to close off? Is there something about the campaign that you want people to know, or that you wanted to say before we close?
Maybe not so much for the campaign, but if you don't already, maybe follow me here on YouTube as well and Twitter. Spore Hacker says I ain't saying nothing.
All right.
Because I don't do shows quite as often as I used to, but I do shows where I'm coloring either Snowdrift or the Canadian Shield up. So sometimes there's good fun in the chat. Usually, you know.
Yes, yes.
So
You have your own channel, right?
yeah,
Right. Okay. I put the link to your link tree in the description of this
oh,
video, so people can
okay,
follow you everywhere. Right.
that's good.
That's
I
good.
am everywhere on.
Yes. Okay, guys. So check out the Canadian Shield 2, and also you can still back Perfect 10 issue 3, which comes with Crossworlds, which is another new comic book. We are still working on this, and as long as we are working on it and finalizing it, you can still get on board, and then you can sign up to American Bliss Father's Pride Part 1. Which is being worked on by Michael Oden and Eric Hodson. Okay, stop sharing. That was it for today. Rick, I want to thank you for being my guest today.
Well, thanks for having me on, for sure.
You were very welcome. Welcome. What's this? What's this, Mike? Does Dave know a pair of desert cooking meth dealers? It's one of my favorite shows. Yeah. I love that show. Okay, so so Rick, thank you. A special thanks to the chat for everyone who showed up, for your questions, for your comments. If you like it, please give it a like and share and comment. And again, thank you so much. I will be back next Sunday for another stream. I don't know who my guest is. I forgot, but anyway, it will be another stream, same time, same channel, new guest. See you then. Bye bye, guys.